Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Right Time. Thanks for checking out The Right Time YouTube channel. Come back here for lots of exclusive YouTube-only content. This is The Right Time. This is the wrong time. It's a lot of times at one time. And right now, we're going to talk about Christmas time. Except that it's not jolly for everybody this Christmas time. I'm not talking about poor people. I am talking about the NBA. Now, the NBA has historically kind of treated that week as a thing for them, right? Like, it's all Christmas Day in the NBA. They load you up with games. They got to have that day in large part because it doesn't really run on Sunday, right? Like, they had all these other times in the week that they could do this. And if it ran on Sunday, the NFL would run their games on Christmas Eve to leave Christmas open for the people. And then the NBA could just come in there and have some games that people could watch. And then the NFL looked up and was like, what are we doing that for? That's crazy. It's money out there, right? Like, in a way, the NFL got a lot of Trump in them in this respect. And it's going to seem like a far-flung example, but I think it's going to make sense to you, right? Trump run for president, and they're like, hey, man, you got to send in your tax returns. And he's like, why do I have to send in my tax returns? They're like, because that's what you do when you run for president. You send in your tax returns. He's like, is it written down somewhere? Do I have to send in my tax returns? Well, no, it's not written down anywhere. And I ain't sending in no tax returns. And so he doesn't send in any tax returns. Like, what Trump figured out about the game was it runs largely on norms, just accepted things that we've decided are the way they are, and nobody really challenges them, right? There's always some asshole, no matter where you are, that comes up and thinks that they are a real deep thinker because they're questioning everything. And they're like, well, why don't we do this? There's nothing that says we can't do that. And they're like, bro, that's just what we do. Can you just ride with that, please? Like, are we really asking too much? And in some cases, like potentially with Trump, yes, absolutely, that was asking too much. Ain't no telling what was on them pieces of paper. You understand what I'm saying? So he wasn't trying to do that. The NFL done looked up and realized it was a lot of these norms seemingly at play, and all they were doing was protecting the NBA and getting in the way of the NFL getting more paper and more paper, right? One of those norms. The NBA gets President's Day weekend. They get President's Day weekend. That is when the NBA All-Star game is. Somebody at the NFL looked up and was like, well, what if we want to have the Super Bowl on President's Day weekend? And they're like, yeah, I mean, we get you, but that's when the NBA's weekend is. And boom, now we are open to the possibilities, and there will be years where there are Super Bowls on the Sunday before President's Day. And that's a big deal for the NBA because it's a holiday weekend. That's part of how they have been getting this done. Now, I imagine a whole lot of cities are now like, whoo, maybe a few of less of those NBA fans will invade our city for the weekend. But whatever, the NFL was like, man, it's paper right there on the table for us to get. So let's go out there and get that paper. Okay, I can understand why they would decide to do this. They out here playing these games on Christmas. I ain't gonna lie, man. That just feel greedy. Like y'all gonna put these games on whenever, however, and get this paper. Do you have to have everything, right? I understand that the NBA is run by white people, but it still feel kind of black, right? Like, that's a lot of the problems the NBA has is like it's been seen as the black league. It's the one with all the black players. It deals with the racism in a much different way. All of those things. And I truly feel like with a lot of this, and especially like with moving football games to Christmas Day like they did, we can't have nothing, right? That's a very common African-American proverb. Damn, we can't have nothing. And then to top it off, it's we can't have nothing with a dollop of it be your own people. The NFL got the Ravens and the Texans playing on Christmas, so they giving us quarter blacking, right? We got quarter blacking. There's that part. And then at halftime of the quarter black extravaganza, perhaps the quarter black extravaganza is the better way to put it to cut down on syllables, they gonna have Beyoncé at halftime. It's a regular season game. It's not even a playoff game. It's not the Super Bowl. It's not Thanksgiving. They got the boy that did that Still Tipsy song performing on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving used to be the big deal. Nope. Beyonce and quarter blacks on Christmas Day. I don't know who the NBA would have out there playing basketball where I didn't feel obligated to come over to the other side. Jay-Z. I don't know what role he has in this. I know he has a role in the Super Bowl thing or whatever it is. But Man, what kind of check they have to give Beyonce to do this? They got Beyonce working on Christmas. I'd be damned if I worked on Christmas. They got Beyonce working on Christmas. They like, yeah, okay, well, she get to go back to Houston. How you know she wanted to go to Houston for Christmas? They got Beyonce out there working on Christmas to do a halftime show for a regular season game. That is flex on flex on flex. And the NBA, they walk into your trap, they take over your trap. I hate that Kirk Cousins got to that before I did, but that is the only appropriate description of what the NFL has just decided to do. At a time when the NBA field is wobbly as it ever did, they sent a Beyonce in there to do that. But got a bright side for you, NBA. That's what you got to hold out for. That's what you got to cross your fingers for. Okay? You ready? You ready? You ready? They had this broadcast of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, and it had a lot of people that was tuning in to check it out. But unfortunately, they had glitches in the live stream, and some people weren't able to get on and watch the game. I don't know how many people were trying at that time where people were having the problems and having the glitches. I know that in the end, Netflix reported that they had 60 million viewers. It's probably not 60 million viewers at one time or an average 60 million viewers, but nonetheless, they said they had 60 million viewers. Okay. I don't really know how many viewers you could reasonably expect for the Ravens and the Texans playing in that game, right? Like CJ Stroud ain't that big a star yet, all that. I don't really know what the number is going to be or how many people are going to tune in to watch that game. But let me tell you something. Beyonce did not do a tour for this Cowboy Carter. This will be, I think, for people, the first opportunity to see her perhaps perform any of those songs live. And it will happen on Netflix. And Netflix is broadcasting this football game. I know the boys at Netflix don't need me to tell them how to run their business. Y'all better have that shit fixed by halftime of that game. You better get to the bottom of that right now. And if you're the NBA, maybe what you need to do is to tell everybody to go to Netflix all at one time and try to crash them out, and then perhaps bring them back for, hold on, Sean, let me get a look at what game the NBA will be playing at that time against Beyonce. Like, if I were you, I would play a game with a bunch of people from other countries in it. That, to me, would be the way that I would play that out. Beyonce gonna be performing during a game that don't nobody really want to watch anyway. It will probably be taking place during Sixers Celtics. I have no idea who gonna be playing for the Sixers in that game, and I don't want to watch the Celtics shoot from the parking lot all day long. So this is what it is, man. You just gonna have to get that game up, sacrifice that game. Because let me tell you what your league is full of in terms of fans. People who either A, can't wait to watch Beyonce, or B, if Beyonce on the TV, she turning the TV to watch Beyonce. Ho, ho, ho. You know what I'm saying? That's what's about to go down in this bad boy. I can't recall a situation that felt more like two leagues were in competition than it feels with these two, except the problem is all of us know it ain't no competition. They gonna eat the NBA if it comes down to it. And I can't even blame like the NBA product, which I would love to get on here and do in another video, and I probably will at some point. This just ain't even about the product. You not competing with Beyonce. You not, right? You can't win, Rock, and you boys need to start winning at something and start doing it soon, because everybody needs to watch out. Everybody needs to watch out. They done ate up the World Series just because it goes on during football season. The WNBA, shout out to you. Y'all still got people to check y'all out in the midst of football, right? That Venn diagram don't overlap perfect. Okay, cool. You wind up in a cool little situation. I don't know if y'all even think about this stuff over there at Hockey World, but I mean, nope, y'all can't win neither. The NFL is coming for everybody's corners. And all I can tell you is good luck. The NBA is in full swing, which means you could turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite teams only on Prize Picks. You can make a Prize Picks lineup between the NFL and the NBA in as little as 60 seconds. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 fantasy sports app. So make sure you go to prizepicks.com/Bomani and use code Bomani for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/Bomani. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.